Welcome back to another episode of What You Take, the show where we talk about just about anything we can possibly think of and bring you guys along for the unfiltered and unapologetic ride. As always, you're going to have myself here, Steve, my brother Chris.
Share the show, please.
Share that goddamn show.
We need you to share the show.
And Sexy Spence.
What's up?
Like they said, share the show. We are on Instagram, obviously checking out us here on YouTube. We are on X. Should probably do better about posting there for us, but here we are. And of course, Spotify, every Monday, new episodes go up for the podcast. So I think we've all seen this thing that we're going to do a reaction to at one point or another, but Corey sent me this video because he wanted us to do a reaction to it and give our insight and our thoughts onto this. So we're going to watch it collectively. We'll go our reaction throughout. I'm kind of interested. It's for this project called Unrecorded. It's a video game, and I have so many mental issues watching it because my brain doesn't like it. If that makes any kind of sense.
That 100%
sense. It just doesn't. So we're gonna go ahead.
Dirty.
We're gonna go ahead and hit play, and let's go from there.
Okay. All right.
It's like that looks like GoPro footage.
Right, no, it's like Hardcore Henry.
I like the light. What's throwing me off as far as the video game thing is there's no reticle. Like dude's doing iron sights. Hardcore parkour.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Oh, we're just watching a snuff film?
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Bad boys.
Steven, are we going to get banned for this?
What you gonna do?
Is this going to get taken off YouTube?
Oh my god, yes.
No.
We're getting flagged.
His is on YouTube. Shout out to IGM, by the way.
Nice blood spatter.
Double tap.
Love
Jesus
your guys'
Christ.
videos. Kick it better. There we go.
Do a better job. Dude, Knight would be terrifying.
Right?
Off, dude.
This is why I understand the limited availability of these in attack situation. I would always 100% rather have night vision than a flashlight.
Right.
Because a flashlight creates a cone of light and you're still surrounded by darkness on all sides.
That is just wild.
The other thing that I'm having a hard time with is that recoil from the pistol. That's legit. His hand is moving around.
Right.
It's not like what you see in Call of Duty. Those textures, though, man, are just fucking gnarly.
So can we actually confirm that this is a game?
So, I will touch on that.
There's part of me that just feels like this is some leaked
This
shit.
is a lie.
Somebody's telling me this is a leak from the dark web that just had some stuff splashed on it.
So IGM is the one who had found the video.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
Where the fuck's Oscar?
So again, big shout out to IGN.
Bro, that is wild.
Yeah,
the amount of
Yeah.
dude.
That's very, 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 very realistic. And dialogue trees.
And that's just it, right? So dialogue trees, the combat looks great. There's a couple of moments where we start to see aspects of video game. Now the thing that I haven't looked into yet, right, is there's a bit when you look up Unrecorded on YouTube. It says Unrecorded, play free now. So I'm thinking it's a PC.
Probably, because I feel like those kind of graphics gotta be PC level.
Hey, you guys
Right.
remember the movie Gamer from the early 2000s?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How could I forget?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what this is.
That, yeah.
But that has me wanting so
Just
much
a bunch
more.
of criminals that get thrown in there.
Can you imagine going through other buildings or just anything with that?
I'm just
right?
picturing VR with that. Dude, you're just doing it.
It looked very VR-ish. Cause did you notice the corners of the screen had those black snuffs?
Yeah.
That seems very VR-esque.
So you want to be a killer.
Did you ever watch that movie, Hardcore Henry?
No.
You guys haven't watched Hardcore Henry?
I know what it's about. I never watched it.
Oh man, it's pretty wild.
It's a first person perspective movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've seen other things like that.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
No, it's like that, except it's a movie with live people, and this is apparently a video game.
Also, isn't Henry a silent protagonist?
Yeah, he doesn't really say much.
Interesting.
If anything, yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty solid. I don't know.
Very different take on.
I'm picturing a bunch of other Actually, I'm thinking of other applications for this. Could you imagine like military or police training or
a lot of police
any
training
of that?
actually uses VR right now.
Right. I mean, you can just run scenario after scenario till it just becomes basically like muscle memory.
Right.
Yep, and that's the core of any good training is that you shouldn't think about
You
what you're
shouldn't
doing.
have to think.
Yep, you
Yeah.
should just do.
I just want to know what the fucking game's about.
That's what I want to know too.
Well,
Like,
it's
are you-
about some motherfucker named Oscar.
He's looking for Oscar.
If I had to guess, given the typical plots of these games, Oscar did us wrong, left us in a ditch
Probably.
somewhere,
Yep.
double-crossed us after a deal.
Thinking like RoboCop intro.
I'm thinking this is law enforcement and some. Maybe you were an undercover agent and Oscar ratted you out.
I could see that.
So from Insider Gaming, plot details are scarce, but Unrecorded is set to play out like a detective novel or thriller as they are tasked with solving a complex case and confronting a diverse cast of characters. While the game certainly looks impressive, there's a sense that it's still very early in days and won't be coming out anytime soon. That was published April 19th of 2023.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna see this in like 2026 or something.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
I think the part that gets me is like I just saw the action scene. Could you imagine how weird it is? Like you go into the police station, being like, "Where is he? You can have my badge," and you just throw it. You know?
There is another comment that goes in through from another source saying the answer to this burning question is unfortunately no, despite the realistic and immersive nature of the game, which naturally raises the questions about this potential in VR. Unrecorded is not a VR game. Published May 16th, 2023.
Weird. So you literally, there's no cross. Like that is wild. Actually,
It's gonna be very weird. No VR support, huh? I wonder if they'll throw in those Chat GPT powered NPCs.
dude, those are starting to get pretty wild.
So it looks like the developer is a studio called Drama. It's going to be an Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5.
Yep. Platform Windows.
I
First
saw
person
them
shooter.
do Minecraft with Unreal Engine. It was just,
Jeez. I've seen that.
it hurt my head.
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Unreal 5 is kind of crazy, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
One might even say it's unreal.
Can you mute his mic? Just
Can I mute him? Just turn his
just-
camera off for me, too.
Yeah, we're done. You're done.
Pull the plug on Chris altogether.
Got him. Still got it.
Still got it.
I mean, yeah, because there was only a couple of pieces even in that clip where I was like, this is very video game-esque, right?
Right,
Now, honestly,
right.
my biggest tell was at the end, aside from obviously like the button option showing up,
Yeah.
right? But like towards the very end when that guy that had his hands up, when he fell, you could see like his leg and his foot shape was just
Right.
wasn't quite
it wasn't
real
right.
enough.
Yeah.
But everything else, man, I mean, it just looks...
Well, like you said too, with the gun recoil like that,
Yeah.
it was like, whoa. Or even when that drone flew by and hit that wall, it
Yep.
was like that looked pretty freaking real.
a lot of thought going into that.
yeah.
Makes me wonder, though, if it's going to be extremely limited.
What do you mean?
Anything with that much attention and focus power to detail like that, I feel like isn't going to have any kind of like open exploration or anything. I feel like it's going to be a very linear mission system.
Here's the counter argument to that. I mean, we're talking Unreal Engine 5, so it may not be super difficult for these guys to make it that detailed, right? Like, it's not like we're trying to take Unreal Engine 2 or something and,
Right.
overhaul the thing. But the other bit, too, is, I mean, if it's going to be a PC platform game, they've got so much power.
That's fair.
I mean, you could do some
Especially
shit.
in like 3-4 years from now, dude. Like,
Well, I mean, even free roaming that, technically,
Yeah.
right? Like, there was the door that was locked. Fucker just kicked it in.
that part's kind of cool. Like, just fuck it.
Right. So it would be nice if they have this world built out and they've built it out and they say go.
Yeah.
Kind of, and I wish like when we used to play it like Division, we kind of wish that used to be like that. Where like there's 18 doors in this apartment. I'd like to go in all of them. Nope, sorry,
Right.
you can go in one of them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Interiors, man. Well, and that's a big thing too, is like and this is, I am in no way a computer savvy guy or anything like that, but like I know in like Skyrim mods a lot of the time, one of the things that they'll do to improve like game stability and like frame rate if you have a ton of mods is they'll do minor removals
Okay.
They'll do things where they're like, we're going to cut all the grass that's at like the bottom of lakes and things like that. Because technically having those things there eats up processing power.
Correct.
Just to have them there.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, there's...
Redirect the focus.
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting though. Like I was reading up a little article on that too, where they talked about all the ways they can like cut processing power and all this crazy crap. That's
There was another one I saw again for Skyrim where it's like we remove. It's called like an insignificant object remover, where it's
Yeah.
like little bits of gravel around a pond, or like it'll get rid of
Right.
like some of the dirt clods throughout the map, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking about a game,
As big as something like Skyrim.
yeah, like that shit adds up.
Well, like one of the things too, like you ever notice how when you're playing some games and you have that like you go in, it's like a crawl space area. That's
Yeah.
actually a loading screen. They just switched it out so it doesn't give you the vibes
Bat-
of load screens.
Batman was one of the first ones to do that, and I think
Right.
it's extremely clever.
Yep.
Everyone knows that that's what it is,
Yeah.
but there's something to be
It helps
said.
it from keeping. It helps you from not being taken out of the
immersion.
game.
Yep.
Yeah.
God of War does a really good job with that too, and for them it was almost even more impressive because
It was a continuous take.
it was the continuous
Right.
take, but you still had some movement because like so in Batman you open up a door, the game takes over for 10 seconds, right?
Yep.
Right.
God of War, you can still they just drop you into a different room and like do your thing,
Right.
or crawl through this little crevice. You're still controlling that. The game didn't take over yet.
Right, which is like I don't know, it just like adds the whole immersion and you're
Yep.
freaking good. But like, yeah, there's like tons of little stuff too, like how far it like how the visuals work, how technically the computer's like dead behind you until you turn, and
Yeah. It
I've even seen
populates the world as you observe
yeah, I've even seen some too that are complicated enough to like, oh, if that behind the building of your range is nothing,
it. Right.
but like you don't know it because it blends in with the background and
Yep.
stuff. It's
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen mods that do something like that too, where it moves the horizon up.
right.
Like, so your game's not trying to put so much processing power into like 700 yards away from you.
Right.
It's only processing like 500 yards away from you, and it still does. They still like graphically make it look like that's the horizon,
right.
but they just bring it closer.
When you
Right.
look at like PSVR 2, I think Spence, I talked to you about this, but so they've got this really weird thing with PSVR where they're using like eye and retina tracking
Yeah.
inside the goggles now. So when you put it on, the computer's watching what your eyes are looking at, and it deliberately puts those things in within a certain parameter in focus. Everything else is just ever so slightly out of focus. Like your peripherals. So then when you then switch your eyes, then it recalibrates and just keeps everything that much sharper. I was like, that's fucking gnarly.
Much more natural to your.
Another plug
that
for
stuff
PS.
like adds up though, like as
yeah.
far as
I mean, another plug for PSVR 2. I don't have one. I really want one. I just can't justify the money on it yet.
It's like $600 right
Yeah.
now.
They've got I think it's called a see-through or a look-through feature. They've got like a handful of external cameras that look out into your world, and so you can turn it on real quick and turn that mode on, and it's all transparent. You can like I could see you, so when you're grabbing your controllers and shit, you're not like half wearing the fucking thing.
Dude, that's actually really nice.
I'm
'Cause
sitting
that
here-
gets so annoying when you're like, ah!
I'm
you
like,
know?
okay, whoever thought of that, they need to just be set. Like
Yeah.
from now on, that feature alone.
Like,
And it's weird because it seems like such a normal thing.
yeah, really, that would be a normal option. Yeah, I don't know. I love watching those things where they're playing those horror games and stuff like that. That
pump
someone
the shit
and
out
the
of the
outside
TV.
of the world will just like push them, and they're like, they just scream, and I'm like, I kind of get that,
Yep.
man.
I played one horror VR game when I still had my VR, and I shut it
Yeah.
off in 5 minutes. I
Oh,
was like,
dude,
nope.
it's
too
like a
much.
different level of terror.
And here's the thing: it graphically, it was garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
it had the graphic. It was less graphical than like The Forest, for example. But I'm like, whatever, I want to try this. But
Yeah.
it was a zombie game, and I'm going through and I'm trying to like open this door and find these keys, and you can hear in the back, I hear. And I'm like, whatever, like that's just it's the game doing its thing. And I turned my head real quick, and this fucker is here. And I was like, fuck, and I'm trying to like
Right.
I'm trying to navigate the controls. This thing's thrashing on me, and I'm like, nope, we're done.
Yep, not dealing with that.
All sorts fucking done.
Tell you what. No, I know what you mean though. It's just like, oh gosh, like I'm just picturing myself being like downstairs in my basement or something like that, playing it. Like, this is scary. Then all of a sudden, I'm like,
Then you actually
was that
shit your
actually
pants.
like, you know, like, was that actually in my house? Like,
Holy
the
shit, a brick.
That's the fucked up part about playing in a basement, like just hashtag basement life, is
Oh, yeah.
you get your crawlers once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
I mean, it's sitting there, something super intense, and you have that one spider that crawls on your foot.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That'd be done. I'd be
Done.
so
that's where
fucking
the heart
done.
attack happens,
Yep.
and you're found dead.
Could you,
I'm fine with horror games as long as it's not survival horror.
Chris,
I
could,
hate.
could you imagine playing Dark Pictures Anthology in VR?
Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't like survival horror. I'm fine with like horror like Dead Space because I get a fucking gun and I get to fight back. Like it's still scary, but there's a chance.
For all of you guys watching this, go into some of our older videos. There is a 2-part thing. Chris and I played a little bit of.
We gotta finish that.
We played a little bit of Dark Pictures Anthology. Little Hope, I think, is what we did.
We started Little Hope.
We started Little Hope, so we did 2 videos on that. And
The ending to Little Hope was wild. I finished it after.
did you?
Yeah, I did.
If you really want to just hear 2 grown men just shit their pants repeatedly, myself included, or especially, I should say,
It supports up to 4, doesn't it?
not online. Couch mode does.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a party thing. I think.
Online is only 2.
Yep. Because we tried it with Spence.
Yeah, remember that it was like only 2, so I was like playing something else while you guys were playing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like if we were all to like come here and I throw it up on the projector, it'll tell you as you name each player, and then what happens is when it's that person's turn, they'll say, "Hey, pass the controller to
Yeah.
Spence."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
couch mode can go up to 4.
Well, we can't stream the 3 of us on couch mode.
Yeah, we can.
Can we?
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we should do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Good call,
Okay.
Chris.
Thanks.
He was ready to like debate why this needs to be a
Dude,
thing,
you about to argue with us about this?
and we're just like,
Yeah, let's do it.
all right, man. Like,
yeah, no, we all agree with you.
Let's piss and shit our pants.
Okay. Dude, no, some of those games, though, I was
I'll
watching.
bring your Depends, Spencer.
Thanks, man. I'll bring your Depends.
Yeah,
Buy them in bulk now.
I didn't know.
Discount, Costco.
I
What's
didn't
your
know
AARP
what Depends
discount?
were.
you didn't know what the pens were?
No, me and Spencer got into like an hour-long
Dude,
argument
it was
about
like, he
this.
did not believe me.
I remember this because didn't one of you fuckers call me?
Yeah.
I think he called you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I get a phone call from Spencer.
Why would I know what that is? And I'm like, everybody knows what that is.
Normally, I'm the one who calls Spencer.
I've never needed adult diapers before.
Yeah, but like it's like a household name thing. I don't know why.
Nope.
In the normal world, yes.
In the normal world, that's fair.
Sure.
We're talking about Chris's world.
Chris's world is more fun.
With that being said, we're gonna
something.
yeah. On that note, we're gonna end this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought about that that gameplay footage that we saw for Unrecorded. Again, thank you so much for IGN. We love your stuff. Keep putting it out. And until next time, guys. Peace.
Share the show.
Share that show.
Gotta share the show.